All right, solving one-step equations. We're going to place on our desk the following items. We need one paper plate and then four $1 bills, then the equal sign. Okay, so it says we need one paper plate. Oops, let me go to my drag. So I have one paper plate. Then I'm going to add four $1 bills. And the ones that do not have the negative, obviously, are going to represent our positives. All right. Then we're going to put six $1 bills on the other side. This is modeling our current equation. So now we need to experiment. How many $1 bills need to be on the plate so that there are six $1 bills on both sides? Okay. So if I have four $1 bills over here, how many more do I need to make six? Well, obviously, oops, I'm going to need two more dollar bills. So that shows what x actually equals. X equals a positive 2. Okay. So now with the same items, we want to model what is x plus negative 4 to equal 6. So once again, we're going to have our big X, but instead of positives, we're going to put some negatives. So there's my four negatives. And then on the other side, we're going to put positive 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. And one more to make 6. But now, here's the tricky thing. How many actual positives do I need if I already owe 4 to make 6? Okay, so if you play around with it, well, I'm actually going to need 10 more $1 bills to equal my 6. If you need to, go ahead and pause this and fill it in. All right, so now we have the equation x plus 6, okay, equals 17. With $1 bill as the constants and the paper plate as your variable. We're going to draw. Do not use our paper plate and the $1 bills in front of us. Okay, we're actually going to draw this out. So here is my x. But now we're going to put some positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my positive 6. And then if I have positive 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So that's our equation. That's how we've been modeling when we did this at the beginning of the unit. Okay. Now we need to eliminate 6 positive $1 bills by adding 6 negative $1 bills to each side. Okay. So instead of so I need to put my negatives with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives there. But remember, and then it says circle or cross out our 0 pairs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 0 pairs. Okay, that's on one side. So now I got to do the same thing on my other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and those were my 0 pairs. So how many $1 bills should be on the plate so that they are the same $1 bills on each side. Okay, well this right here tells me how many $1 bills because this is what has it canceled out. Okay, so I have 8, 9, 10, I have 11. So we should have $11 on our plate. Okay. Think of the same equation, except instead of a positive 6, we have a negative 6. So x plus negative 6 equals 17, with a $1 bill as the constant and a paper plate as a variable. Draw the model. Okay, so once again, here I'm going to draw my x, but then it says I have 6 negatives, and then I have 17 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 2 more to make 17. Okay, so now we want to eliminate the 6 negatives that we have on one side. By doing that, we have to add now 6 positives. Okay, and then we can cross out our 0 pairs. So this is how, we have to do that to both sides. So I'm going to add 6 more negatives, or positives, I'm sorry, on the other side. Now, anything I can cross out? Yes. But what about on the other side? I don't have any negatives with my positives. Remember, a 0 pair is 1 positive and 1 negative together. So how many do I have all together? Well, I had 17, and then he added these 6 others here. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So there should be $23 for X. Okay, but now we're going to do this the algebraic way. Remember, if you're in Mrs. Oliver's class, I talk about the 5 different steps that we should do for every equation, no matter what, for every one-step equation. So we're going to solve without using manipulatives, without drawing. So that's why we call this the algebraic. Now, real quick, remember, what is the opposite of addition? Subtraction, right? So I'm going to come in here, I'm actually going to subtract on both sides. Right there, step 1, find your inverse. Then what number am I trying to get rid of and eliminate? Step 2, I'm subtracting 56. Okay? Or you could write this the other way. Of x plus 56 but minus 56 equals 89 minus 56. That is the vertical way. Those are the same thing, just written differently. That is all. I'm going to go to a smaller font. There we go. I just want you to be able to see this is the same thing as each other. One written one way and the other one written another way. Do what works for you, okay? So for me, I prefer going this way because then I'm like, oops, I know those cross out. Just like you would know, these now cross out. Okay, so then we have x equals, well, 9 minus 6 is a 3, 8 minus 5 is a 3. That's step 3. What is your solution? X equals 33. But then remember, you're always coming back and checking your work by taking your 33, replacing x with it. Okay, well, 33 plus 53, oops, notice I wrote this wrong. That's where easy mistakes. Does in fact equal 89, so it's true. So my answer is correct. All right, what about B? X plus a negative 189. And this is why it's important to know the algebraic way, because do you want to draw out 189 negatives and 415 positives? No. Okay, so we have a subtraction of a negative 189. But when we add our opposites, we get that we're adding a positive 189. Okay, and then for those that like it the vertical way, you can take your x plus your negative 189 plus your positive 189 equals 115 plus 189. Same thing, just written differently. Just like you're the same kids. You just might be wearing something different. Okay, so this is what our inverse operation was and the numbers that we're trying to eliminate and combine. So these cancel out. So I have x equals, you need to get lined up very nicely, but I have 5 plus 9 makes 14, and 2 plus 8 makes 10, and 4 plus 2 makes 6. We're saying that our solution is x equals a positive 604. And obviously now we're going to check our work. I replace x with your solution. So I have 604 plus a negative 189. Is that going to make 415? Remember, now you have to follow those integer rules. Different signs subtract. Okay, so if you need to, go off to the side and put your 604 and do your subtraction. That's fine, but you can't just do only that and say I checked my work. You have to rewrite the equation. That is step 4 that we always have to have. Okay, 14 minus 9 is a 5. Oops. 9 minus 8 is 1, and 5 minus 4 is 4. Or 5 minus 1 is 4. Yes, 415 does in fact equal 415. Woo! All right. With our items, model each equation. I have 3 x's. And then on the other side, we have negative 9. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, how can we get each one? So take a moment, play around with it, come back and then check. Okay, so each one we needed actually 3 negative 1s on each one. Oops. So if you look, this is how your plates should actually look. All right, let's go to our next one. We're going to draw without using the plates. Putting a whole bunch of negatives, drawing those is going to take too much. So let's draw. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are my 5 plates of x's. And I got a bunch of negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So how do I know? Well, if you look, I skip counted by 5s. That made it nice. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I put on each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, wait. You need to put 6 on each of these, or I'm going to only end up with 25. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each of my plates actually gets 6 negatives to make a negative 30. All right, number 10, solve each equation but without using manipulatives. Remember our lovely integer man. Help you remember the rules. But what remember still why is it why it is. Okay? If I have 6 people that owe me money, how much does each person need to give me? Well, the opposite multiplication is division. How many times, if I took negative 24 and I split it 6 ways, I get a negative 4. Then remember, come back and check. 6 times 4 is that, oops, negative 4. That can equal a negative 24. Well, if you borrow $4 6 times, you owe $24. And it works. Remember, show those 5 steps every time. The opposite of multiplication, division. What number am I going to divide on both sides? Well, the negative 9. The opposite of having to owe somebody money is having money. So x equals a positive 8. Then check your work. Okay, is a negative 9 8 times going to equal negative 72? It does. All right, we need to pause that, catch it up. All right, cut a paper plate into quarters. That means you pull it in half twice. Okay, then inside each of these paper plate or paper, each of these, we're going to put $3 bills in one quadrant. Okay, this setup molds x divided by 4 equals 3. Now we have to fill in the rest of the quadrants. Okay, well, there should be quarters, right? So to make my whole thing, we need to make it into quarters, right? There's my not really fancy plate, but it's plate. So yours should look like quadrants. So now inside each of these, I need 3 more dollar bills again. Boom. So how much does this whole x now equal? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 times x equals 12. That is our solution. One more way to draw that, right? Okay. And remember, why did we do it that way? Well, what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. Okay, what if I was to do it this way with a number line? Well, inside each one, we would have 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so that tells us right there is our, because not many of you are walking around with a paper plate and a bunch of ones. So that's another way you could draw it out. All right, so now this is where we're going to get to our homework and checking our work. Okay, remember with your homework, you need to do each step you need to show what's the inverse. Okay, if I was to write this out, what do I want to get rid of on both sides so that my y is by itself? Well, I want to subtract 8 on both sides. That minus 8 gets them to cancel out so that y is by itself. Then 17 minus 8 is our 9 equals y. Then obviously check your work. Remember, you must check your work. Is 17 equal to 9 plus 8? Yes, 17 equals 17. Okay. What about for number 2? You can't just put x equals 16, negative 16 and be done. How am I going to get rid of that? What work do I need to do? Well, I'm going to multiply on both sides by the reciprocal. First thing I'm doing is I'm showing I'm multiplying. Then I'm going to show that I know I'm multiplying by a negative 4 thirds. Why by 4 thirds? Because then those cancel each other out. Now you could multiply and have a negative 48 that you're going to divide by 3. Or you can cross cancel. And 3 goes into 12 4 times. So then you're just really left with 4 times negative 4. Then obviously we need to check our work. Okay, so I'm going to check it. Is a negative 3/4 times 16 going to equal 12? Well, 4 goes into 16 4 times, and a negative 3 times a positive 4, negative, is a positive 12 equals a positive 12. Okay, so make sure you are showing all 5 steps, not just giving me answers. You need to show your work. All right, have a great day. Remember, if you have questions, please reach out to your teacher.